really difficult, really bad long-term challenges that governments have to fix. So again, our test, what people should judge us by, what are we trying to achieve and how much are we achieving in terms of making these things basic better? I think that's the essential obligation we all have.
Secretary Timothy Geithner, you're a busy guy. Thank you for your time.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you. There's some behind-the-scenes photos of the show's field trip to the Treasury Department today at the Maddow blog online, if you're so inclined to look at that sort of stuff. I don't know Vladimir Putin personally, but I feel like I know him better than I know most people. Certainly better than I know any other world leader. And we've all just gotten even better acquainted with Mr. Putin, thanks again to his weird proclivity for releasing unusual photos of himself. Previously, we've seen photos of him fishing, for example, topless, horseback riding, topless, swimming, topless. And now telling pictures of the Prime Minister with his clothes on this time. And what clothes they are! Yes! Here's Vladimir Putin posing with a horse in the snow, awkwardly staring at it. Here's Mr. Putin letting the horse sniff his ungloved hand. And then here is Vladimir Putin sitting on a completely different horse. I'm sad, actually, that we didn't get a comment from J.D. Hayworth on this one, but we do hope that Mr. Putin will be happy with his horses in sickness and in health. On last night's show, I had a really good time talking with former Arizona Congressman J.D. Hayworth, who is challenging John McCain in the Republican Senate primary in Arizona. It is hard to get Republicans to agree to come on this show, so I was really happy, the whole staff was really happy that he was here, even after he took a shot at said Rachel Maddow show's staff.
Rachel, your researchers should have done a better job.
Now, we take that kind of allegation seriously. Mr. Hayworth, in fact, alleged a number of times last night that we got stuff wrong in our research. Here was the first time. You were ousted by a Democrat in 2006, and by that point, people who knew nothing about Arizona politics knew you for being one of Congress's top recipients, if not the top recipient, of money from Jack Abramoff.
Well, first of all, Rachel, your information's incorrect.
Actually, my information was correct. Mr. Hayworth argued that on one list, he wasn't listed first or third in terms of Abramoff money. He was listed 9th. This is his defense. I was only the 9th biggest recipient of funds related to the corrupt lobbyist in prison.
If you really go back and take a look at the numbers, I ranked 9th in overall contributions from those who might even have a tangential affiliation to Mr. Abramoff. In fact, some other groups rated higher.
Groups. When he says groups, that's the giveaway. Mr. Hayworth is 9th on a list that he found of everyone, including campaign committees and groups who got Abramoff money. I had only asked Mr. Hayworth about being a top Abramoff money recipient among members of Congress. He was, in fact, a top recipient of Abramoff-related money among members in Congress. I was right. I did not have my facts wrong. When, in terms of your receiving money from Abramoff, your chief of staff in 2005 admitted that it was over $150,000 of money linked to Abramoff. The Washington Post listed you 3rd. The Center for Responsive Politics listed you 1st. Others have listed you 2nd.
Rachel, your researchers should have done a better job, for had they checked, they would have seen corrections from the New York Times.
Actually, my researchers did a great job, and I am one of my researchers. That New York Times correction does not make Mr. Hayworth's case better. It actually makes it worse. You see here, the congressman received $101,000 that was donated by Mr. Abramoff and his family, Indian tribes, and a gambling cruise ship line that he once owned. It did not include donations from Mr. Abramoff's lobbying partners or other associates. So in other words, what the correction says is that while Mr. Hayworth took a ton of Jack Abramoff-related money, they couldn't promise that they've counted all of it. Take me on all you want, Congressman, but my researchers do and did a great job. They were right. Anthony, Tricia, you guys were right. And nothing provably true in print anywhere on earth mitigates how up to your eyeballs you, Congressman, were in Abramoff's line when you were in Congress, which is in part why you lost your job in Congress a few years ago. I also asked Mr. Hayworth about the comments that he made to an Orlando radio station on Sunday about gay marriage.
You see, the Massachusetts Supreme Court, when it started this move toward same-sex marriage, actually defined marriage. Now, get this. It defined marriage as simply, quote, the establishment of intimacy. Now, how dangerous is that? I mean, I don't mean to be absurd about it, but I guess I can make a point of absurdity with an absurd point. I guess that would mean if you really had affection for your horse, I guess you could bury your horse.
Try as we might, neither my mayor nor I could find this establishment of intimacy phrase anywhere in the ruling, which I brought up with Mr. Hayworth while I still had him here. What you said about the establishment of intimacy being the definition of marriage in Massachusetts, I don't think it's true, sir.
Well, that's fine. You and I can have a disagreement about that.
Well, it either is true or it isn't. It's empirical.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Well, I appreciate the fact that we have a disagreement on that.
We don't, in fact, have a disagreement on that. Mr. Hayworth is actually just wrong. What he says is in the Massachusetts court ruling is not there. It's not something to agree on or disagree on. It's something to look up. I looked it up. Again, he's wrong. The ruling doesn't define marriage as the establishment of intimacy. It just doesn't. So them's the facts. What Mr. Hayworth said, I got wrong. And weirdly, what he said the staff on this show got wrong, we didn't get wrong. I am still thankful that he agreed to be on this show. I am honestly not sure, though, if there will be a round 2. Tonight's moment of geek concerns Pi Day, which takes place every March 14th. 314, 3.14, get it? In recent years, Pi Day has become a kind of world nerdcore holiday where mathletes find all sorts of awesome ways to celebrate the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. But regardless of how well you may have celebrated Pi Day this year, Kent Jones has found someone who one-upped you, I promise you. Hi, Kent.
Hi, Rachel. Theresa Miller, a 20-year-old studying to be a math teacher at the University of New Mexico, accomplished a feat involving pi, a hula hoop, and a Rubik's Cube that you will not believe. From now on, humans must be divided into 2 groups, us and Theresa Miller. Behold the perfect storm of geek.
3.14159263584978783164337864881520682459155817.
Yeah, and she completes the cube, too. 450 places of pi, right?
Thank you, Kent.
Sure.
I am humbled.